Croeso I sianel Blaid Llwyd. Well, I said there'd be tennis ace in the week, and here we are during the week, and it's tennis ace. What are the chances of that? If you're watching the last episode, you'll remember that, regrettably, Takehiko wasn't exterminated by Daleks. Well, we can only hope for the future. So we'll pick up things with the fallout from that scene. Most of the time there's always a really nice breeze up here. Today though, even the air feels like it's grown stagnant. I've been sitting here for probably a few hours already. I didn't even feel like showing up to class today, and yet here I am. Aki basically forced me out of the door, groaning about how I could be such a useless older brother sometimes. I, of course, didn't tell him anything about what happened last Friday. It's not like any good could come out of it. He'd probably just get really worried about the whole situation. Shoichi hasn't talked to me at all since I left his house, which is uncommon for him. At first I was fine with that because I was really mad at him. But now I just feel sad. I couldn't bring myself to sit through hours of classes, so instead I came up to the rooftop and decided to ditch. Going outside would be too risky since I might end up getting picked up for truancy, and that would be hard to explain. I think you should probably be around lunch break by now. I'm not quite sure. I spend most of my time up here either staring at the clouds, sleeping, or playing games on my portable. I fish my phone out of my pocket and welcomed by a text from Saya. I don't really feel like talking, so I decided to just shut it down and toss it into my bag. No way it's going to distract me now. If I'm lucky, they'll think I didn't show up at all today and no one will come looking for me up here. It's not exactly a secret I like coming up to the rooftop. So if they know I'm at school and they wanted to talk to me, they'll likely come up here real quick. Being predictable really sucks. And also, feeling like this also sucks. Why'd I have to get all wimpy and sad all of a sudden? I shouldn't even care. Wish I could go back to just not caring. Things were much easier when I was just apathetic to everything around me. Stupid Shoichi. Crap, someone's coming up here after all. In the position I'm in, I can't really get up and try to hide in time, so instead... Oh, there you are! The only one that appears in my line of sight is this surprisingly tall childhood friend of mine. Figures you'd find me. Not exactly a master at hiding. You're pretty predictable most of the time. I was hoping people would just think I didn't come to class today and wouldn't find me. People saw you walking through the gate, you know. Oh, right. Hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Have you talked to Shoichi about it? Why are you asking me that? Come on, it doesn't take much to know something's wrong. You didn't show up for class, Shoichi's walking around looking like a zombie. It isn't difficult to put two and two together. This is what I get for telling you about us, isn't it? Oh, please, like it wasn't obvious even without that. Huh? I've known you two are dating already. I've just been nice and waiting for you guys to tell me yourselves. And when you didn't, I decided to ask directly, see if you'd come clean about it. You really are nosy, aren't you? A little bit late on the lecture. I shake my head, clutching my face in the palm of my hands and groaning into them. So, what seems to be the problem anyway? Please tell me you didn't fall back into your old MO already. What? No, of course I didn't. Then, you two are still together? I don't know, maybe? What? No, you have to know, you can't not know. Did she come all the way here because she was worried about me or because she wanted gossip? Saya-chan, I'm sorry, I really don't want to talk about this. Can you just leave me alone? Oh, not you too. Two? I tried asking Shoichi-kun about it first, but he just brushed me off and asked to be left alone. So she really did come here just for the gossip. Well, what's with that look on your face? It's nothing, that's just what my face looks like. Okay, I'm sorry for meddling. Please stop glaring at me like that. Sheesh. I don't think she's sorry at all, but it's just too bothersome to keep up. Can you just leave me be for now, please? I don't know, you look really upset. I don't like the idea of leaving a friend alone when he's upset. You left Shoichi alone? That's different. He physically pushed me out of his classroom. I can do the same. Nice try. You're not Shoichi. I'll crack one of your nuts before you can get the chance. What? That's so unfair. Life isn't about fairness, Cotton. Cotton? Yeah, I saw someone call a guy that in a movie. Why am I friends with you? What do you mean? Why wouldn't you be? I give up. I don't have the patience to deal with their free-spirited ways. Not right now, at least. You going somewhere? I get out from the floor, dusting the back of my pants clear and heading for the door. To class. Lunch break is going to end soon anyway. Really? I thought you were going to ditch all day. So did I. Without even looking back at her, I speak while my hand clutches the doorknob. I feel a tiny little bit better. Thanks, Ai-chan. A few hours later, before I even noticed it, the bell rang. I quickly take a look at the notes I've made, somewhat surprised at just how complete they are. Thought coming to class would just be all around terrible, but instead I felt super focused for some reason. Besides, the mood around here is so much better after the end of midterms that I couldn't help but feel a little bit better myself, just being around the cheerful atmosphere. I suppose I owe my classmates one, even if they have no idea why. The only exception being, June is nowhere to be seen today. Hey, do you guys know if June sent an absence note or something? I'd asking the Mouse twins who sit nearby, since they always tend to get you somewhat early. No, not really. If he did, absence notes don't tend to be publicised to students, you know. I suppose. Still didn't hurt to ask. I wonder if everything's alright. He seemed to be struggling a lot last week, especially on Friday. Maybe he's fallen ill? I had to admit that's a scary thought. Maybe we should send him a message to check up on him. In the meantime, I'm going to head to practice. It'd be good to move around and focus on something else for a change. It's good to distract myself when I'm in a bad mood. Besides, working out some aggression while hitting a few serves sounds amazing right now. Thanks anyway, I'm going to head to practice now. See ya. The younger brother doesn't even bat an eye, waving me off and turning back to his brother to continue chatting. The elder brother stares at me, however, frowning and biting at the edge of his lip. Hey, you alright? Huh? Who, me? Well, that's a weird question to ask all of a sudden. You look a bit zonked out to me, though. Zonked out? And you're deflecting. I'm fine, that's just your imagination. If you say so. He shoots me with a suspicious look, but I don't bother to stick around. I just can't deal with someone being all worried about me right now. I'm not in a good state of mind to be fielding questions. So instead, I'll choose to flee. I'd be cowardly, or I'll be damned if it doesn't work every time. Sometime later, the sounds of rushed steps and rackets hitting balls fill my ears. Grunts of effort as people practice their serves, their strokes, and all other kinds of shots. All sounds like music to my ears. I didn't realise how much I missed it until today. That's a feeling I haven't felt in such a long time. The past few years, all I can remember is feeling content during practice, but never really looking forward to it. Match is always a thrill, but even those had started getting dull after a while. For some reason, I feel like the fire inside me that had been blown out so long ago is now starting to light itself back up. It's in my best interest to see it is kept lit. Hey, I was wondering when you're going to get out of the locker room. Sorry, I guess I got lost in thought for a bit. How are our numbers doing today? Today's the first practice session we've had in the courts in a while, so I wonder how many of the members actually showed up. It's so far. A lot of our seniors are unaccounted for, and that's just considering ones that haven't officially quit the club already. Have we had many quitters? Not as many as I thought we would. Then again, it's only June. So you're saying to give it time? Pretty much, yeah. I'm sure we can have a few more. That's just how it goes with seniors. This time of year tends to be pretty difficult for most school clubs. Usually not many senior year students stick around with their clubs until the end of the year. Either leave right at the start of the school year or leave right around the second midterm period. Sure, we have a few others that leave here and there sprinkled around the year. Most of the time those are the known mass quitting periods. How are you feeling? You have to practice hard? I feel invigorated. Give me some balls and let me hit them as hard as I can. That's great. Glad to see you so enthusiastic. I'm sure it'll help motivate our juniors too. They do need all the motivation they can get. They do? Why? Saya's shoulders slump and she sighs deeply, shaking her head. I wish you'd pay a little more attention sometimes. Spare me the theatrics and just answer my question. Sheesh, so rude. Saya! Fine, you don't have to yell. A lot of our juniors have taken the results of the last tournament pretty hard. They have? Yes, seriously, pay attention to the other members sometimes too. You're the vice captain, who would help you a bunch. You would get your head out of your ass every now and then. Is this how you ask people for help? Because I feel even less inclined to listen now. That guy you played against in the finals, he played against a lot of our members too, not just you and Keikun. And, well, it wasn't pretty. Oh yeah, I can imagine that. That match was really rough. I'm still very surprised I managed to win it in the end. There were lots of times during it that really didn't seem like victory was possible. Yet, playing against someone like him really got me excited to try harder. That's because it was a really tight match. For less experienced players who suddenly face with a wall that high, it's hard not to let the frustration consume you. Feelings of, I can't do this after all, or I'd suffer less if I just gave up, are bound to occur. When I think about it that way, I can't help but feel a little bad for our juniors. Case getting the idea ones who came out of it feeling more motivated. Pretty much, yeah. A lot of our juniors are really inexperienced. Most of them just joined the club because they found out we had high-ranked players here. They felt inspired by us. They're only at the stage of, this is kind of fun. Tennis is just a thing they do to pass time. They're not really serious about it. So it's pretty normal for them to feel dejected after experiencing huge losses. It wasn't just against that Akita guy. Very few of our players have managed to qualify for the next stage of competition this year. It's one of our worst yields in a while. It is. Jeez, do you know anything? Honestly, I'm starting to feel a little bit bad for being so clueless. I guess I should listen more often when Saira and Mikado-sensei talk to me. Or at me. I'm just so used to getting lectured, I just kind of tune them out by default. Probably not a good thing, but I'll still reserve judgment on that. We only had 3 guys and 4 girls qualifying for the regional tournament. That's 7 people in total. Last year we got 13. Ooh, that really doesn't sound good. How many did we have qualify for nationals last year? 3, 2 guys and 1 girl. Ouch, so you mean me, you and Keikun? Yep. Those really are terrible numbers. Maybe I really should get more involved in these aspects of running the club. What would you consider a successful club anyway? I mean, I get that me and Saya are ranked really high, but just 2 players don't carry a club. I really should have made Keikun my co-captain. At least I get some more help with this stuff. Hey, that's a bit of a low blow. Good. You know, I don't need this attitude. Well, too bad. I'm in a bit of a bad mood today. You should get in it anyway. Jeez, woman, what got into you today? You're fine earlier. You mean when you ditched me in the roof? Yes. No hesitation whatsoever. You guys are really mean to me all the time. Yeah, I don't really care for the whole playing victim thing. I'm just going to go practice. What? I walk right by Saya, leaving her behind in stunned silence, while going to one of the courts and picking up a basket full of balls. I already know where this little dance leads, right into me getting guilted into something. It's happened a lot over the years. I'm numb to it by now. The next few minutes I just focus on practicing my serve, so much so that I start losing track of time. Hitting the ball as hard as I can feels really therapeutic. Granted, I don't really get many shots inside doing that, but it's a nice way of working out my stress. And Well, it might have the added benefit of increasing my accuracy when serving super hard. Who knows? Either way, Sides doesn't really come by again to bug me. It's not like I don't consider the things she said. I probably could stand to do more around here. But I really don't have the patience to deal with the guilt in. For some reason, the juniors seem to be giving me weird looks every now and again. Is there something wrong? God, that's a seriously scary face you got right there. Another long ears appears around me, staring right into my face. As soon as I turn around to meet his gaze, he immediately looks away from me. Pardon? Did you and Mizuguchi-senpai get into a fight again or something? You're both looking like you're about to kill someone. Oh, well, she looks like she's about to kill someone. No, I wouldn't call it a fight. Is that so? Are you alright? For crying out loud, not this again. Why does everyone keep asking me that? Yes, I'm fine. Do you need something? Doesn't exactly inspire confidence when you say I'm fine with that kind of look on your face. Get to the point. That is its own point in of itself, but alright. I was wondering if you wanted to play a practice match today. Sure, why not? Better than hitting the ball into nothing. Right, I'm just going to call Coach over. He also said he wanted us to play against each other, so I'm sure he'll want to watch. Tennis practice continues on as usual, even if it's a little tense. A few hours later. Oh man, my whole body is aching right now. I think I might have pulled a muscle at some point in there. I was going so hard at it all day and had even stopped to consider how much I was overexerting myself. Playing in a bad mood was a really bad idea. Heading to the locker room, I see a few other guys hanging around and chatting. Some of them getting changed as well, and I quickly look away from those. There are a few volleyball team players in here, so maybe they finally finished practice on their end. I guess now that Shoichi isn't around, they don't get held back forever. Probably not going to be something that they'll miss. Sitting on one of the benches is a familiar white wolf with a towel thrown on top of his head. Somehow his fur is even whiter than the towel's fabric. That's quite a feat. He has an intense look in his eyes, even as he looks down at the ground. I feel compelled to talk to him. You picking a fight with the floor or something? Huh? Who? He looks up, and as soon as he sees me, I notice the tiniest hint of expression softening. It's only a little bit, but his brows seem like they relaxed a little. Even the corner of his mouth twitched for a second. Ah, it's just you. What do you want? You look pretty pissed off, and that's coming from me. What's up? What do you care? Come on, man. I just worked super hard. I'm tired. Don't make me drag it out of you. There it is again. A twitch on the corner of his mouth. Almost like he's forcing himself not to smile. Practice is annoying. This whole working together thing is bullshit. And yet you haven't been kicked out of the team. Why is that? Haruki looks away from me, grumbling something I can't quite hear. Guess it doesn't hurt to try. I'm sorry, what? Nothing. Don't you have better things to do than bother me? You'd think. Honestly, why am I talking to him? This guy's the crudest person I know and always a headache. Why on earth do I keep talking to him? I must really be a sucker for punishment. Yeah, that's a really disgusting thought. I refuse. How's the team? Annoying. Boy, aren't you articulate? No, you dipshit. I mean, how are they doing since Shoichi left? Oh. He coos softly in response to my question, staring vacantly into space while his brows furrow and twitch. I almost picture the gears going inside his head. It's an amusing thought. Yeah, okay, I guess. Not much time to be selling after work. Still the next tournament. Wow, that's really pragmatic coming from you. The wolf frowns, cocking his head to the side and staring at me as if he just heard something stupid. I'm not a girl. I said pragmatic, not pregnant, you dumbass. What does that mean? Is this some kind of foreign language? It's Japanese. It means being practical. Oh, why didn't you just say so? Oh, God, this guy might be more of an idiot than I initially thought. No wonder he's a delinquent. Either way, I guess I'm glad in a way that things are still going smoothly. That's all. If this team is really crappy without a dog around. He speaks loudly enough that some of his teammates hanging around the locker room turn to shoot him angry looks. He completely shrugs them off, not even registering their presence. Yeah, I feel like such a dweeb saying this, but a dog is really good. He's the only one who can bring out this team's full potential. Damn, that's really nice of you. Yeah, whatever. There's no denying it. This guy's definitely softened up tremendously. Probably make me a little bit happier if I wasn't so conflicted right now. The more I hear about it, the less I want Shoichi to give up on volleyball. He should be in here practicing with this team. It's bullshit that he's not allowed to just because of Takehiko-san. Remembering things I'd rather forget about. I thought of maybe giving Shoichi some more space, but I don't think I can do that. I need to talk to him and sort things out. I feel like if I stay away much longer, I won't be able to talk to him again. If you'll excuse me, I kind of need to go now. Haruki shrugs, grabbing his towel from his head and stuffing it back into his bag. Not my problem, I'm going to go shower. Don't even think of trying to sneak a peek. Very funny. Wish I could tell him not to say that sort of thing in public. If I act like I'm bothered by it, then it'll just sound defensive. Sometimes I really hate this guy. I quickly jog my way through campus, heading to the only place that Shoichi could still be. If he's not here, then he surely will have left for home. How this conversation ends up going, I feel like having it through the phone would be really inappropriate, so I'd rather not. I need to see him face to face. Even that's making it much harder to keep my thoughts focused. I knock on the door, waiting around to see if there's any response. Other than a couple of people passing by the hallway here and there, the entire place is lifeless and quiet. Then again, it is late in the day already. Most clubs have already finished their activities. Crap. Could it be the student council room is done for the day too? I quickly try the door and find it's locked. Oh, great. So the entire trek over here feels like it was pointless. Great job, Hector. What now? Leaning my back against the wall, I let myself slide down until sitting on the ground. There's a tightness in my chest that I can't quite describe. I can't tell if it's irritation or sadness or anything really. It's just tight. Shoichi, I want to see you. Great, now I'm talking to myself. Regardless of the situation, that's never a good sign. Better head home and wash up. Maybe a hot shower will get my head out of this funk. Or at the very least I'll be in a funk without smelling funky. I drop my bag right next to the sofa, looking around the house to see if I can find any traces of other people. The lights were off and there are no shoes by the door, so I guess Aki isn't home yet. Probably still at his club. He's been working really hard lately. Maybe I should praise him for that. My entire body feels sore and stiff. I desperately want some hot water to help me relax and loosen up a bit. I need a bath. Getting to the bathroom, I begin to undress myself, folding my sweaty clothes and toss them inside the laundry basket, which is halfway full by now. I open the faucet on the tub, letting the water pour in to fill it up. Taking a seat by the washing area by the tub, I fill up a bucket with water and splash it on myself, feeling the warm water soak into my fur and all the way down my body. Even though the water is perfectly warm, there's always that moment where you shiver from it touching your body. Once I get used to the temperature difference, my entire body begins to relax. The heat from the water only lasts for a few seconds while coming back down to body temp, the air around me serving to cool me down rapidly. With a brush and some soap in hand, I scrub myself as clean as I possibly can. Reaching a spot between my shoulder blades is always tricky, a little uncomfortable, but I manage to do it. I wonder how much easier it would be to have someone else wash my back for me. Back when we were kids, Shoichi and I used to bathe together all the time. Of course, our little kids doing that sort of stuff together means we probably horsed around more than we actually cleaned. Still, it's a very nice memory. Maybe it's something we could revisit at some point. Aki bathes with me on occasion, but less and less these days. Since he's my brother, I don't feel painfully awkward being naked around him, or seeing him naked for that matter. He's just my little brother. Even if I tried, I couldn't bring myself to feel weird about it. It really is nice to have someone massage my back, although Aki is really lacking in the upper body strength department. Only a bit too much to ask of someone his age, though. Takes me a good 20 minutes where I feel like I've scrubbed to a satisfactory degree. My fur is completely soaked and heavy, clinging tightly to my body and giving the appearance of, well, of a wet dog. Makes me feel like I'm twice as heavy too. I probably don't look anywhere near as fluffy as usual. Shoichi used to tell me every now and again that I'm surprisingly fluffy for a guy. I suppose I do have a lot of fur. Aki is really similar to me in a lot of ways, but sometimes I catch myself thinking he doesn't look quite as... I don't want to say delicate, because that feels like a dig towards myself, but no other words seem to come to mind. Definitely doesn't have as much fur as me, that much is a fact. When I was his age, I remember being so poofy I had to trim my face pretty often, so it wouldn't get into my eyes. Luckily it settled down as I got older, but I guess I still have a lot of fur. It used to bother me a bit when I get taunted for looking like a little girly, but when I think about it, Shoichi's always liked me just the way I am. That really makes me happy to think of. Going to try talking to him first thing tomorrow morning. Maybe show up to school early, that way we'll actually have time to talk before class starts. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea. If I can space out too much, I rinse myself with all the soap and shampoo till the water begins to run clear. If I want to space out, I can do it while soaking in the tub. This feels great. Warm baths are just the best. An hour later, the sizzle of the grill echoes louder in the otherwise silent kitchen. If I might not be in the greatest of moods, I still need to make dinner for everyone in the house. Aki sure as shit can't cook, so I can't really expect him to take care of himself. Meanwhile, Mom is... well, Mom. Other than seeing the food I leave her in the fridge gone the very next day, there's times I'm not even sure if she came home at all. But she works harder than anything to keep us taken care of, so at least I'll handle the burden while she's home. It's what I've been doing for the past 10 years anyway. No big deal. From the entrance hall I hear the sound of a door opening and then quickly closing behind itself. Familiar footsteps echo closer and closer until a certain face pops up. I'm home. Welcome home. It's a little later than usual. Aki drops his bag next to me and walks up to the kitchen counter, leaning on as he talks to me. Oh yeah, sorry, I lost track of time. We're doing practice matches today. That's good. Did you do well in them? It was okay, I guess. I won about half of them. Well, a 50% win rate isn't bad. What are you talking about? Of course it's bad. I can't even win consistently locally, and I'll never qualify for larger competitions. Right now, my best record is qualifying for regionals and getting eliminated on round 1. Baby steps. You don't need to take the whole world by storm in a single try. Easy for you to say. Aki suddenly cocked his head to the side, scanning my face intently. It's definitely a little bit unsettling. What's up there, buddy? Are you doing good now? Huh? You look like you're having a rough time over the weekend. I did? You said you were either frowning inside or locked up in your room. Great. Apparently as easy to read as can be. I'm fine. Everyone knows I'm fine never actually means I'm fine. You're looking too much into it. Come on, I'm your brother. You can talk to me, can't you? Somehow I really don't like the idea. Even my mind logically knows there's no way I could ever be unkind or homophobic, I still have a warning sign ringing inside my head whenever I think about telling him. Hell, telling Sai was less nerve-wracking than Aki. And I say that knowing full well he just doesn't have it in him to be cruel. I guess I had a fight with Shoichi. Or maybe not with Shoichi himself, more like with Shuichi's dad. There, just be as vague about it as possible. No need to bring our relationship in the conversation at all. That does sound like it would suck, but... why'd you get so down for something so basic? Sometimes your lack of tact astounds me. Or maybe innocence would be a better way to describe it. Just apologise and things will be good, no? You know, you're so mature most of the time, sometimes I forget you're still just a little kid. Huh? That sort of naivety is exactly what I expect from a kid his age, after all. Sometimes people don't want to accept apologies. It doesn't always work out for the best. So you did apologize? Well, that answer doesn't exactly fill me with confidence. God damn it, I have a good point. I'm right. A kind of little technicality like this invalidate me completely. Sometimes people don't deserve an apology. Now you're backtracking. I'm allowed this. Yeah, I'm sure you are. In the meantime, you continue being upset. Well, have you talked to Shoichi at all about this? We kind of haven't talked since it happened. Oh, it's all you guys not to not speak for it all for so long. Tell me about it. Don't forget just how you used to have to see his face or talk to him almost every day. Even when we were both really busy, always managed to make some time for each other. It was just to say a quick hi. I feel really uneasy being like this, like something is really wrong. I hate that feeling. Yeah, I'm going to try talking to him about it tomorrow morning. At the very least, I don't like feeling like I can't talk to him. Yeah, that's probably for the best. There's definitely a few frustrations I need to wear out before things can go back to normal. That's enough of that, though. Go clean yourself up. Dinner'll be ready by the time you're done. I left the tub filled for you. Yeah, thanks. Aki walks out of the kitchen, his steps echoing as he moves up the stairs. Aki, thanks for hearing me out even a little bit. You're the best little brother. The number of students passing by the gate is very small, even for this time of morning. Just to make sure there'd be no I'd miss Shoichi, I dropped by even before the gates opened and just hung around them waiting for him to arrive. Also might have been able to sleep much, which may have contributed to my being so early. Regardless, I lazily watched a few students that dropped by early in the morning while keeping my eyes open for a certain husky. Checking the time on my phone, I see that it's around the time when he should be showing up for class. He'll probably come by any time now. Man, he's going to be really surprised to see me here even before him. The last time it happened was by complete accident, and he still looked shell-shocked. Just thinking about it, I can't help but pout a bit. He has no expectations of me at all. I just start working a little bit harder to teach him a lesson. Maybe he'd be real annoyed if I turned out to score higher than him on our next midterms. Love to see that look on his face. I'm sure it'd look lovely. But then again, he always does look lovely. Yeah, what am I doing? I'm daydreaming about embarrassing stuff instead of paying attention. God damn it, Shoichi, my head is full with so much of you lately. I'm definitely going to make him pay for it soon. Ah, there he is. I see a familiar figure walking towards the gate with his eyes glued to the ground, his bag slung over his shoulder and held behind his back. Stale swishes meekly behind him, almost falling between his legs. Didn't even need to get close to understand what Saya meant. He absolutely looks like a zombie. Morning. Morning. He mumbles an enthusiastic answer back at me, taking a few more steps past me as if it were nothing. Then as it began to click in his head, he stops in his tracks. Turning around, he stares at me with a blank look on his face for a few seconds before... carry out? Gee, it's looking long enough. What are you doing spacing out this hard face first thing in the morning? What are you, huh? Eloquent. You're sure to be valedictorian. How are you here this early? Same way as always. I walked. You know that's not what I meant. I was hoping you and I could talk, so I decided to get you early before you get busy. Is that all right? I guess that makes sense. Sure, we can talk. Let's walk a little over there. I don't want people overhearing us. I quickly point to a corner a few meters away from the main gate. Still by the front of the school, but far enough that no one can just pass by and hear us. It's an open area, so if anyone starts getting close, we'll see them. Sure. Shoichi flashes me a strange smile, pressing his lips so tightly together they form a thin line. Once we're there, I take a few deep breaths. I already heard what I wanted to say since last night. Now all that's left is saying it. When I feel ready, I turn around again, seeing Shoichi staring at me expectantly. It's pretty clear to see that I'm not the only one feeling awkward and uncomfortable in this situation. I think we need to talk about what happened last Friday. I measure my words, my tone of voice, trying to speak as neutrally as possible. Shoichi nods slowly, listening intently. I'm sorry to have put you in such a horrible position. I was trying my hardest not to cause any problems for you, but I messed up anyway. I'll be honest, I still believe I was right. And I still stand by what I said. I absolutely hate the way your father is treating you. Carried. But I cut him off before he can say it. I know him, and more importantly, I know that look on his face. I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want him to justify it or somehow act like it's acceptable. No matter what happens, that is absolutely the one thing I can't accept. If that's how he regularly treats you, then I'll say this now. I hate your father. Huh? You deserve better than to be treated like that, and I'll hate anyone who does. Come on, that much should already be obvious. It's not that bad. It means what? Stop. Shoichi bites his lips, still avoiding my gaze. He's not the type to ask for help. In fact, he's the type to blame himself for everything. I hate that about him. And even more than that, I hate the fact it took me so long to notice. If I hadn't begun dating, he hadn't taken so much of my attention lately, I might never have noticed. That thought alone scares me more than anything. But it's because he doesn't take proper care of himself that I'm going to have to be pushy. I need to look out for him until he starts looking out for himself. That's the decision I've come to. I'm not backing down from it. I understand you want to keep the peace for now. I hate that that's what you want, but I understand it. But you and I are going to start looking into ways for you to fix this situation. So, what? I'm not expecting anything to change overnight, but I'm going to work on fixing that screwed up thought process of yours. You can stand up for yourself. I never want to see you retreating like that ever again. Carrie, I don't know. It's all right. I'll help you with that. You know I'm here for you. Yeah. Shoichi crosses his arms, hugging them tightly and close to his body. His entire body is quivering slightly as he looks away from me. His voice hushed and barely more than a whisper, breaking even though he's barely said a single word. I will also admit that it really hurt me to see you standing quietly like that. Felt like I had your back and you didn't have mine. I know we're both still new to this whole thing with our relationship. But that really hurt to see you let me take the heat like that without a word. Yeah. Shoichi's lips waver. He takes deep breaths, leaning his back against the wall and trying to stabilize himself. His eyes glisten even more against the sunlight, misty and with small droplets beginning to form. It wasn't my intention to make him cry, but I really feel like I needed to get it all off my chest. If I didn't, I'd definitely regret it. Place a hand on his shoulder, squeeze it lightly in an attempt to be reassuring. There wasn't a risk of being seen. I give him a tight hug, but I don't want to call attention to us. Especially not when Shoichi is so vulnerable. I want to minimize the risk of people seeing this as much as possible. I stand by in silence, just trying to let him feel me nearby. It takes a couple of minutes, but Shoichi managed to recompose himself little by little. This would probably be a good chance to continue what I had to say. It feels really good to have been able to get it off my chest. Although I admit that it felt more like I was talking at Shoichi instead of to him. For the time being, maybe we should look into a way for you to spend more time out of the house. For the time being? Oh, that's way too big an ask for you to call it that. Not necessarily. What if you started spending a few nights a week at your mom's? You still lives in your childhood home, right? That means you still have your room there. Shoichi chokes, his eyes going wide once he hears the words I have to say. Immediately upon hearing them, he takes an instinctive step away from me, hugging his arms close to his body and looking away. Oh, I can't. Come on, I know you have your reservations, but don't you think it's about time? She probably won't want to see me. She's your mother. You know there's no way that's true. You're just making excuses again. Besides, I'm sure Hitaka-chan would enjoy seeing more of you, don't you think? Oh, I guess. Don't sound so meek about it. What's even holding you back at this point? Oh, can't we talk about this later? I don't think now's a good time. What? No, we can't talk about it later. Already gotten this far. It's not like this wasn't a difficult conversation to begin with. It's better to say everything that needs to be said instead of letting it loom over our heads. I know I'm not going to be able to feel at ease until then. But just tell me already why you're so hesitant to do it. I'm sure it can't be a big deal. I told you before, I feel guilty. Why guilty? You're not the reason they got divorced. You do know that, right? I agreed to go with Dad without even being asked. I chose on my own free will. Mom wanted to get custody of both of us, but I knew there was no way it was going to happen, so I just chose to go. So I wanted he to stay with Mom no matter what. Still, I also know it hurt her a lot. I basically gave up. She wanted me there, and I said no. That's just a bad situation. It's not your fault. That's easy for you to say. I don't know what I should do. I feel the need to say something, I have no idea what. The whole thing sounds absurd to me, but for Shoichi, that's the reality he lives in. Should I even push the issue? Wouldn't he just get mad at me if I did? I still think you should at least try. Isn't that all you can really do? Just try your best? I'm sure she'll be happy to see you again. At the very least, I can't imagine her ever being angry at you. She probably missed you more than anyone else. Please don't say things like that. All I'm saying is, stop. Why are you yelling at me? Shoichi raised his voice so suddenly I nearly jumped back at a reflex. The fur around my neck bristles up and stands at attention. I asked you to stop. I don't want to hear this. Okay, why are you getting mad all of a sudden? I don't want to hear it. This is bad. Shoichi's tail is thrashing behind him. He's usually not the type to get angry this quickly. Is this a touchy subject for him? I hadn't even considered the possibility that it could be. I suppose it makes sense, but still, can't we just leave things as they are? If I do, then nothing will really change, will it? No, I have to say it. Because if I don't, you'll just refuse outright. You'll be so stubborn over the stupidest things. Though it might be a mean thing to call this stupid. I get you have your own hang-ups about it, but enough is enough. Look, I know you feel guilty about it. I get it. Maybe I'm the lucky one since I never had to deal with that sort of thing. Maybe I just can't understand what you went through. Oh, that's not right. But you can't just keep hiding from it. The longer you stay away, the harder it'll be to reconnect. Besides, you don't want to see her, don't you? It's not that easy. Sure it is. You just have to want it instead of digging your 2 feet into the ground like a stubborn mule. Honestly, you frustrate me to no end sometimes. Dumbass. Have all you want, but you know I'm right. There's no way your mother wouldn't want to see you. You're a son, for crying out loud. Just go to her and mend that bridge. Besides, it'd go a long way to making you less dependent on your dad. Shoichi's clutch around his arms tightens. Part of me can't help but think he's going to end up puncturing himself like that. And yet, little by little, his gaze begins to soften. I see the tension vanishing from his shoulders. It seems my words managed to reach him to some degree. Or at least he isn't rejecting them outright. Even that would be a big step forward. I'll think about it. Yeah, that's what I'm really asking for. Just don't reject me without giving it some thought. Shoichi nods. I do want to see her. Just those words by themselves are enough. I feel a weight lifting from my shoulders once I hear that. The validation I made the right choice. I knew having this conversation wouldn't be easy, but still, once the tension starts leaving my body, I begin to realise I feel exhausted. The day has barely started. I already feel I could just crawl into bed and shut down. You alright there, big guy? I don't know. I have a lot of stuff on my mind. At least we're able to talk, right? It still beats not talking at all. Of course. I'm glad I was able to talk to you again. I always am. I just felt too awkward to take that first step after what happened. I guess that means I'm lacking maturity, huh? We'll get there. Communication is hard. Oh, no kidding. Shoichi placed the hand on his chest, taking a deep breath and sighing. I'll admit it was good to get some things out of my chest, but man, I feel really beat all of a sudden. Kind of want to point out he barely even spoke in the first place, but that would probably be uncalled for. I'm going to head out now. I have a lot I need to get done before classes start. Oh, thank you for talking to me. Feels like a weight lifted off my shoulders. Of course, I'm always here for you. You know that. Oh, it's definitely reassuring to hear. Talk to you later. Shoichi walks away, a slight and crooked smile on his face. Despite the overall awkwardness, I definitely feel like we've managed to push forward somehow. I probably need to figure out what to do with myself until classes start in over an hour. Probably going to take a nap until then. The bell finally rings, bringing the start to lunch break. Quickly put away my notebook inside my bag, and one last quick glance at the notes I'd taken today. Somehow I do feel a slight sense of pride for working so hard on these. Sure, it might just be one day, but I do feel like it's still progress. I'm sure Shoichi should be proud of me too for working hard. It's always been the loudest proponent I need to take my studies more seriously. Still find it a bit pointless since I'm not planning on going to college, but if it makes him happy, then I want to do it. It's not like there's any sweat off my back. I sneak a glance at the vacant seat next to me. Today again, June has failed to show up for class without a word. Also hasn't really answered the message I sent him yesterday. We don't like this, but I can't chase after him for some kind of answer. He'll talk to me when he talks to me. Knowing him, I'll probably just waltz back into class at some point like nothing happened. It's definitely very much like him. The back door of the class is open suddenly with Saya and Shoichi quickly entering the room. Us! Pardon the intrusion. The two of them give very different greetings on one another, yet are equally well received. A few of my classmates smile and wave at them, return their greetings in kind. Those two, Saya in particular, have always had a lot more ties to our classmates than I did. Come to think of it, I really did spend the last 3 years acting as a lone wolf kind of guy. Saya and Shoichi and then Lacha Keisuke barely talked to anyone other than those three unless it was some really short conversation about games or food or some such. I really hope I don't end up becoming some kind of antisocial mess. That'd really suck. So, you two sure managed to arrive here together pretty often considering you're not even in the same class. Well, our class is neighbour yours on both ends, so we have to walk the exact same distance. Guess that makes sense. They both pull up chairs and sit with me, digging inside their bags for their lunches. You're also in a good mood, that's great. What? I don't mind her. Obviously I know what she means considering what she talked to me about yesterday. There's no real reason to bring Shoichi into this. If anything, it'll only make him feel self-conscious. So, how are you guys doing? It's really to be done with exams, huh? You don't just study like crazy anymore for now. Well, sort of. You probably shouldn't stop studying regardless. You're prepared for the next exams. Come on, there's got to be a limit to how righteous you can be. Saya fidgets on his seat, humming happily in a quite loud fashion. Okay, you're definitely trying to get our attention, aren't you? I'm just really happy. How come? It's the first time we got to hang out the three of us together since you guys told me about you two. Huh? That's a reason to be happy. Hey, who else knows? Does anyone else know? Well, you're getting a little bit too excited over this. We're hoping not to make this a big deal. Definitely isn't set a good precedent for telling others. Well, of course things to be happy. Not so loud. Shoichi nearly lunges forward from his seat, clasping his hand around Saya's muzzle, giving her from continuing to talk. Are you trying to out us to everyone? Sorry. She mumbles almost unintelligibly, despite her mouth being forced shut, her brows furrowing a little. I thought my heart was going to stop. Same here. Sorry, I was just a bit overexcited. Just try being a bit careful. I know it's a big ask for you, but still. What? It's not a big ask. I can be careful. Yeah, sure. It's because you're careful I had to hold your mouth shut. One single mistake doesn't establish a precedent. Keep telling yourself that. Anyway, who else did you tell? You're still on that? Of course, it's huge news. No one much. We haven't told anyone else as far as I recall. There is Haruki. Oh, right. Haruki. Sai cocks her head to the side. Oh wait, is that the angry wolf dude that's in the volleyball team? Same. He's a handful. To say the least. I'd thought the people we could have told why a guy like that. It's not that we picked him out of a lineup, he had figured Shoichi out just like you and meddled. Well, what you told me about what he did, meddled is putting it nicely. Hey, don't be like that. The only thing I wanted to have to deal with now is a pouty, jealous Shoichi. What did he do? From what Carrier told me, Haruki was the one who told him about, well, me. Really? How did he even know? Well, it beats me. Some people are just perceptive like that, I guess. You figure it out on your own, too. I suppose that's true. Getting used to that knowledge to constantly antagonize me. It was just by some miracle that actually made me conscious of Shoichi. After that, it took me a while to get comfortable with the idea. Oh, I'm still pissed you knew about it before I had the chance to tell you. On the other hand, if you hadn't found out from someone else, you never would have told him. Well, I guess that's also true. So in a way, there's Haruki guys to thank for you guys. I would have raved this blows up in spectacular fashion. Oh, please don't say that, even as a joke. Come on, don't be so uptight. Shoichi clicks his tongue, shooting me a disapproving look. He really needs to work that stick out of his ass at some point. No sense of humour. He's the only other person who knows? I haven't told anyone else, but I think Aki might be starting to suspect it. He's another one that's really perceptive. Yeah, I'm really lucky Hector is dumb as bricks when it comes to certain things. I'm not sure how she'd take the news if she found out. She does have a huge crush on Hector-kun that's lasted for years now. I still don't know what I did to deserve it. Yes, both siblings have the same taste in men, huh? Well, that's apparently true. I still wish you hadn't said it. Sorry. Oh, I know. I know what I want to know. Have you guys kissed yet? What the? Well, yeah. Don't just tell her that stuff. We've been dating for nearly a month. That much is already a given. I guess. Okay, then I have another question. What is it this time? Sai hunches a little forward. He always has to reflexively do the same, like a trio of co-conspirators trying to talk in hushed whispers. Have you guys done it yet? What? There's no way I'm answering that. No way in hell. Oh, come on, it's not a big deal. Go to hell, you perverted for Joshi. Oh, I don't think it was a bad question. Shoichi's face is red and I've ever seen it before. If at all possible, it's even redder than it was when we had sex. And that's saying something. I guess that all horny adrenaline thing is becoming a lot more embarrassing. You okay there? Your brain hasn't turned to mush or anything yet, has it? Shoichi nods slowly. There's no change to his facial expression, though. Come on, take a deep breath. It's not that big a deal. Place a hand on top of his, giving it a faint reassurance squeeze. Shoichi tries doing as I say, closing his eyes and putting a hand on his chest, breathing in and out deeply a few times. That's a really bad question to ask. It's not that bad. You really are perverted for Joshi. Not you too. What else do you expect to say to that? That's a really vulgar question, no matter how you cut it. Okay, I'm sorry for asking. Jeez. You got no delicacy at all. You really are a crude woman. Hey, let's go a little too far. The viewers continue on and chival back and forth the rest of lunch break, fielding an ending barrage of questions from Saya. We constantly have to steer away from the subject since she insists on asking risque questions. A few hours later, by the time I'm finally done practicing for the day, the sky is already threatening to go fully dark. Didn't realise how late it got. Coach had to actually usher a lot of us out because we were staying way longer than usual. Guess everyone was raring to practice again after the extended vacation we took from the club. As soon as I step outside the gym with my bag around my shoulder, I look around and notice someone's figure. Shoichi's leaning against the gym wall, his bag on one hand and his phone on another. He's staring idly at his phone without noticing I've just gotten out. Shoichi. His ears twitch as soon as I call out to him. He looks up and greets me with a smile, his tail swaying a little behind him. There you are. Did you practice run late today or something? So a few of us just lost track of time, I suppose. I bet. I came here to ask if I go to your place and spend a little bit of time with you after your practice. Oh shit. Since it ran late, it's almost my curfew by now. I actually have to run in just a bit or I'm going to be late. Oh, right. Shoichi looks around for a bit before grabbing my wrist and tugging me. What are you doing? Oh, come with me real quick. Shoichi brings me to a spot between the gym buildings and the school's outer wall. Shadows of the two tall walls make the place seem a bit dark, even with the sun's orange light shining in the sky. No one around here? What was that for? Shoichi takes one step closer to me, pressing me against the wall and leaving little room for me to stand. Quickly lowers his head and presses his lips against mine. I've already gotten used enough to kissing. As soon as the surprise washes over me, I close my eyes and kiss back. He playfully nibbles on my lips for a second or two before pulling away again. Well, I don't want to leave without a kiss goodbye first. You dog, you're always being late just for that. Of course, I didn't get a chance to kiss you at all in a while. I needed to get out of my system. To be honest, I could probably fool around with you for a while longer, but then I'd definitely be late. Don't think my heart will be able to handle a make-out session in public just yet. That's a good point too. Well, I'm going to run now. I mean that literally. I'm going to run home so I don't take any more risks. See you tomorrow. See you. Jeez, he's such a big dog. But I suddenly feel really invigorated now. Guess it wouldn't hurt to go for a jog and exercise a bit before I go home. Burn off the giddiness. Oh man, being able to have a lazy day again feels so nice. I spent the past week working my ass off and doing my best to catch up on my studies again. Having ambitions is such a chore. I'm mostly doing this out of spite at this point. Just wanted to show Shoichi up since he's always nagging me to put in more effort in my class studies. He's such a goody two-shoes, it's really annoying. I mean, I love the dude to death and he's a really good example most of the time, but dear God, stop preaching to me so much. And here I am. My weekend has barely just begun and my thoughts have already floated to him. Great. I hate this. I really, really hate this. Sound of footsteps echoes from the staircase. Raising my head up from the couch I'm lying down and try to have a look to see if it's either Aki or Mom that's coming down. Oh, you're up early? My younger brother's painfully neutral face welcomes me, not even a hint of a smile at seeing me. I went to bed early last night. I noticed you've been going to bed a lot earlier lately, even before me sometimes. I can barely even stay awake anymore. My brain is way too overwhelmed. It's embarrassing to admit, but grown so used to slacking off that suddenly being all gung-ho about studying on top of practicing every day has me mentally exhausted. Barely even properly functioning, you're already overwhelmed. That doesn't bode well. Hey, I'll have you know that I've been studying a lot recently. Oh, that's new. Did you hit your head or something? Oh, you have a little more faith in me. I'm just trying this new thing where I try to be a good student again. Crazy, I know. Yes, might just brighten up Mom's day when she hears about it. Why do you suddenly look so smug about it? For no reason. Stupid little brat. Look here, I love you. Do you have no plans for the day? Surprised you guys aren't getting together this weekend. Why has it been the first free one after midterms and all? We did make plans for tomorrow. We're going to celebrate Keikun's birthday, which I totally forgot was a thing. Oh, I didn't know that either. Maybe we should ask Kai and Nee for his number so I can wish him a happy birthday. You know, it worries me to have all my friends' numbers. Not all of them. I just told you I don't have Keisuke-sans. Not what I meant. Don't you have friends of your own? I see you talking to mine more than anything. Do you think I just spend all my time alone when I'm at school at the tennis club or just hanging out? Because you don't know my friends doesn't mean they don't exist. I've had this discussion before. I still think I should get to know your friends. Make sure they're good influence on you and all that. No. Why not? Because I said no. I don't need a reason, just no. I swear to God, one of these days I'll lose my patience. I'll smack you around a little bit for good measure. Or so I like to think, but realistically there's no way I'd ever be able to hurt Aki. Curse my conscience being such a pain in the ass. Well, I'll get Keisuke-san's number later. Just get some food and then I'll be going. You're going out? Yeah, to the club. If I want to do better in competitions, there's no way around it than practicing more. Oh, look at you being so diligent. It's cute. It's to be expected. I'm only really doing the bare minimum. Speaking of which, you have a lazy Saturday. Shouldn't you be practicing too? This kid is way too blunt. It hurts. Sometimes you just need a day off to recharge. Studying is hard and all that. It's nice that you're bothering to study now and all that. That's the same thing I do, and I might should do also having cram score on top of it. You can afford to practice some more too. Will you stop policing everything I do? You're not a mother, you're my younger brother. Excuses, excuses. You're so not cute at all. I don't want to be cute. Well, I didn't say. It's written all over your face. You're pretty easy to read sometimes. I hate this. My phone pipes out from the table. Then to me that someone has sent me a message. Hang on a sec, I've got to check this out. Sure, I'm going to go eat something. Aki walks off the kitchen, opening the fridge door and checking inside. I reach down to the coffee table, grab my phone and lying back down on the couch. Hey, it's a message from Shoichi. Huh? Good morning. You free today? Could use your help. That's odd. Shoichi never asked me for help with anything. The point is mildly infuriating. Sure, what you need? I'll pick you up in 20. But wait, that's not an explanation. Screw it. At least I have plans now. Aki, I'm going to be heading out in about 20 minutes. I speak loudly, you can hear me from the kitchen. Get out from the couch, go up to my room. Wanted to give myself a quick brushing to make sure I'm presentable. Thank God I took a bath as soon as I woke up. Alright, I'll be out of the house in 10, so you have to look up after you leave. Got it. Sometime later is when we leave things for this episode of Tennis Ace. Of course, if you've played it, you do know where we're going to be heading. If you haven't, well, that's a nice surprise to find out in the next episode. And the next episode will, all being well, sometime in March. I don't actually have the schedule properly worked out yet, but should be sometime around then. This weekend is the last of New VN February, and I do have one more new thing to introduce to you, which some people have asked for, so I hope you're all going to enjoy that one. And then that's it for February completely, because I won't be doing anything before St. David's Day, which is Tuesday. But before we leave for tonight, well, I leave anyway, I'm sure half of you have already just stopped listening. Hey, I see how things go with these videos, trust me, I know what's going on. I want to say thanks to all my donors on Patreon and Ko-fi, much appreciated to all of you. And, of course, my Art tier patrons are Popot, Jewel, Burnt Toast, Kartek, Gopus Vissa, Pesuksu, Dissonance, Cindy Dragawolf, Tiger Cub, Gunnar Muller, Lark Huskerton, Bastion, Brandon Bradford, Isla Corval, Anubis Silverwind, Brian Hall, Samuto, David Taylor, Evan King, and Grizz. That really is it for this video. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, bye for now.